Hello. Okay, next video. As it's been 5 years, I thought it'd be about time to do a sequel to my Draw My Life video that I did back in 2013, which incidentally, you might want to check that out first before you see this video if you haven't already. I'll pop the link on the screen now, as well as in the description bar below. You absolutely don't have to go and see that, but it might help fill in some gaps. And also, I probably should point out, you probably sussed it already, but my drawing skills have not improved at all in the last 5 years. So yeah, you might have to put up all my stick figure drawings, sorry about that. I also hold my pen weird still, and that's honestly never going to change. At this point, it's just part of me. So I'm going to jump straight into this and briefly introduce myself. As some of you might know, my name's Charlie, aka Pinkstylist. That's me on the screen there. Hi. I'm 28 years old and I'm from England. Yay. I'm a special effects makeup artist, which basically means I turn people into monsters by sometimes sticking stuff to their faces. Awesome. I also teach others how to do special effects makeup on my YouTube channel, which is where you are now. Yay. It's basically 10-15 minutes of me just sticking stuff to my own face, really. But that's my job, and I love it. So without spending too much time on introductions, that's me. Hi! So in my first Draw My Life video, I spoke about my growing up and being bullied at school, which was awful, but I also discussed having my fantastic friend Caroline who actually helped me all the way through it. I also spoke about my family and my makeup education in the previous video, and also told my coming out story. Surprise, I'm gay. Who knew? Well, apart from everyone in the YouTube comments, obviously. But in order to keep that video short-ish, I did leave out quite a few details, so I thought I'd cover some of that stuff, as well as some stuff that happened after 2013, in this video. So let's do this. So something that not a lot of people know about me, unless you've actually slept over, is that ever since I was a child, I've been a very, very, very heavy sleepwalker and talker. I probably do it on like average, 4 times a week, it's a lot. And what I do tends to vary. It's always very strange, but some nights I'll just wake Graham up and have a discussion with him about, well, nonsense really. Every morning when I wake up he tells me like what I've said, and every time it makes no sense whatsoever. I can't remember dreaming about any of the stuff that I say. But on the plus side, it does make for a really interesting morning conversation. The sleep talking isn't that bad, but some nights I actually get up and I start preparing meals in the kitchen, which is just not good at all. I just basically wake up to a huge massive mess that I have to clean up in the kitchen. One of the more surreal things that I do when I'm sleepwalking is I write myself notes, not all the time, but on occasion I will wake up to this weird kind of alien-esque language that I have no idea what it means. And the worst part is I very rarely remember actually what happened. I usually just wake up and find these notes and like, what? Sometimes I wake up during an episode and I have no idea what I'm doing, and sometimes I remember roughly what's going on, but it never usually makes sense. Graham has tried to wake me up before, but it usually ends up making things worse. I think the last time he tried it, I ended up getting really upset and locking myself in the bathroom. I can vaguely remember the end of the conversation, but I remember being really annoyed that I was being woken up. I don't know, it's very strange, but I just remember waking up on the bathroom floor the next morning. So now he pretty much just knows to let me do my thing and then I'll go back to bed on my own accord. Now that I think about it, he really does put up a lot with me, bless him. But ultimately my sleepwalking is relatively harmless, aside from the fact that it does mean Graham doesn't get much sleep, bless him. But on occasion I will do something not so good. One time I did wake up stark naked outside my house, and I remember only waking up because I was really, really bloody cold. So yeah, that wasn't a fun experience for me. We now double lock the doors. I did try once to record my sleepwalking before, just like so I can analyse what's going on, but the end result was walking around in circles for 2 hours solid and then trying to remove the door frame with my bare hands before like getting really frustrated and going back to bed, and that really didn't give me any insight into why I do it. So hopefully if someone out there can offer me some insight into why I sleepwalk, I would love that, or at least let me know if there are more people out there that do similar stuff, just to make me feel less peculiar, please. Now, moving away from sleepwalking and onto a different form of travel. See what I did there? No, that was terrible. As I mentioned in my first Draw My Life video, I used to travel a lot with my mum and my sister. We mostly used to go to Florida every year, sometimes twice a year, but we must have gone about, or at least 20 times, I'm sure. I was a very, very, very lucky child to be able to visit Universal Studios and Disney World so often. I even got to see like the gradual building of Islands of Adventure just as it was being constructed. I think I was also one of the first few families to actually enter it. It was amazing, and it's not a massive point of interest, but my favourite theme park in the world is most definitely Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. They're just amazing. It's just a shame really that most of the classic rides that I've known and loved over the years have been replaced, like the King Kong, Jaws and Back to the Future, Hanna-Barbera, some amazing rides. At least I'll always have the wonderful memories. So I'm bringing up travel for a very good reason. There is something that I didn't have time to include in my previous video, and I think it's a good example of the type of friendship that me and my best friend Caroline have. And yes, I can confirm that me and Caroline are still very good friends. I know a lot of people ask that in the comments still. She was even in one of my Would You Rather videos that I did last year or the year before. I'll pop a link on the screen now if you wanted to see that. But as I said in my previous Draw My Life video, Caroline has been my friend since I was 4 years old, and she's helped me with so much, mostly dealing with like the awful bullies at school and just generally being weird with me. She's awesome. So back to why I'm talking about travel. Sorry, I'm waffling on, but this is the reason I'm bringing this up. So the year is 2010, okay? The year I turned 21, or, as it will forever be known, the year me and Caroline almost died. Laughing. So me and Caroline decided it had been way too long since we'd seen each other, and with my having moved away from Essex in 2004 to Cambridgeshire, which is about 2 hours away, we decided to take a vacation to celebrate both us turning 21, as our birthdays are only about 10 days apart. So after going through a few different choices, we decided to go to Paris because it's only a short trip away and it's perfect for our first time like travelling on our own, plus we'd always wanted to see Paris properly because it's just a beautiful place. Everything went perfect on our journey. It was super simple, the train was lovely and the hotel was perfect, but what we didn't count on at that time was that neither of us were particularly fit. God, we were knackered. There was a lot more walking around Paris than we had anticipated. I don't know what we thought we were going to do, fly, but as I said, at that time we just weren't thinking about it, we weren't going to worry about stuff like that, we were just going to have fun. So let me set the scene. Paris, 2010. Day 1. So on day 1 we decided to visit the beautiful Notre Dame. And before I start this little story, I will say this. At Notre Dame there are so many stairs. So many stairs. They just keep going. Again, I didn't know what we expected, maybe we thought we could fly. But after queuing for a while and seeing how beautiful the actual place is, we decided to climb the steps to the roof, which I'm going to tell you now is 387 steps with no resting points at all in a spiral staircase. That might not sound like a lot, but when you have no idea of how much further you have to go and when there are no resting points at all or any passing places for the people behind you to go ahead, you start to freak out a little bit. Eventually, one by one, the people in our tour group started to go back, not being able to cope, until it was just me and Caroline left. Now, as I said, we weren't particularly fit at that time, so it was a miracle we managed to make it that far. And I never knew to that day, or to this day even, how much a human can sweat. Isn't that lovely? But yeah, that kind of feeling wasn't pleasant for either of us. I think at one point we went through like an entire spectrum of emotions in about 10 seconds. We went from being like proper determined we were going to make it to being exhausted, then officially delirious, and at one point we were just laughing, then crying. Oh my god, I think at one point we actually contemplated giving up and living on the steps just there for the rest of our lives. Suffice to say, we were knackered. Eventually though, we did make it to the top, which was absolutely worth it. I mean, it took us about 20 minutes to try and catch our breath first, but we were able to look around and it's absolutely stunning. I've never seen anything quite like it. The only downside was, after about half an hour of looking around, we kind of both looked at each other and came to the sudden awful realisation that eventually we did have to climb back down. Oh no, that was fun. We didn't really walk much on the next day. Our legs were like a baby giraffe, so we could barely move them at all. So after a couple of days wandering around Paris and using the train system, we finally got the hang of things. We were experts, or we thought we were anyway. We just failed to notice what times the stations kind of stayed open till. So cut to a few days later, when we were strolling down Champs-Élysées at 2 in the morning. I apologise for my pronunciations of these places, I am really not very good at that. Hopefully I'm not offending anyone. But we decided to call it a night and head back to our hotel via the Paris Metro. What we hadn't realised is that the station where our hotel was had since closed when we had arrived, so it left the automatic turnstiles locked, and that kind of left us stuck on the underground where we weren't able to get out. So even though we had our tickets to leave, they just weren't working, so we were kind of trapped. Then panic started to set in, admittedly mostly from Caroline. All I can remember her saying was, "What are we going to do? I don't want to be stuck down here," like over and over and over again. And maybe it was the 1 or 2 cocktails I had had that evening, but to be honest, I came over all like cautiously optimistic and overly confident, so I just said, why don't we just jump the barrier? And Caroline seemed uneasy, but on board. I mean, we didn't really have much choice, we were really proper stuck. So I didn't think about it, I just jumped straight over the turnstiles in one jump, which to be fair, was a massive deal for me at that time because I rarely exercised. Go me, yay! But then I turned around to see if Caroline had followed. And to this day, I will never forget what I saw. Oh my god. I'd failed to take into account that Caroline is only about 5 foot tall. so she's not able to jump that high, so definitely not over the turnstiles. I'd also kind of failed to take into account that her legs were still stuck in baby giraffe mode from our Notre Dame quest. So when I did turn around, instead of seeing Caroline through the turnstiles, I saw her kind of stuck in themselves. Oh bless her, she decided to crawl through it rather than jump over it, and instead got stuck. And she was... I'm never gonna forget the look she gave me. It was proper, it was pure horror. I've never seen such fear in someone's eyes before, and I've never seen someone convey an entire sentence with just one look before, and that look was just simply, I don't want to die like this. I can laugh now, but at the time, well, actually no, at the time it was bloody hysterical, but poor Caroline, oh my god. I've never seen her in more emotional pain than that day. Oh, don't worry, I mean, I did help her eventually after a few minutes of nearly wetting myself laughing, but I did get her out eventually of the turnstiles of doom. Full disclaimer, she didn't hurt herself, she just got stuck temporarily, which was really hysterical. Not to Caroline, but I mean afterwards it was, I think. I don't think I've ever stopped to ask her really if she found it funny. Well, Caroline, if you're watching this video now, it was funny, right? Face. But after all that trauma, we... Oh god, so I can't, that was brilliant. Oh, but after that we did head home. We have had some pretty fantastic adventures, me and Caroline. I would never trade our friendship for anything in the world. Caroline has put up a lot with me in the past, and God knows why, but she's just been absolutely wonderful to me, and I'm very lucky to have her as my best friend. So now let's fast forward to 2013 and pick up where my last Draw My Life video ended, because a lot has happened in the last 5 years. So when I uploaded my Draw My Life video, the first one, my channel had 17,000 subscribers. Now that was on the 12th of April 2013. Now 17,000 subscribers is an amazing amount of followers, and I was and still am amazed that many people would want to ever watch my videos. But then on November the 13th, 2014, my channel hit 1 million subscribers, which was insane at the time, it still is. And it only grew from there, because on December the 1st, 2016, I hit 2 million subscribers. I mean, what? Oh no, I still don't believe it to this day. I mean, today I have 2,250,000 subscribers. I don't have words for how ecstatic that makes me feel. I can barely picture 17,000 people, let alone 2.2 million. It's a super, super scary thought, so I try not to think that there's that many people that can be possibly watching these videos, but wow. So I do say it a lot, but I'm going to say it again, and I can say it over and over and over again, but thank you guys so much. I mean, my life has changed completely since starting my little channel, and being able to wake up every day to so many people commenting like this, just wonderful things on my work, and being able to read such lovely things is just something that is beyond amazing, and I'm very lucky, and just, again, thank you guys so much. I mean, to have a single subscriber is fabulous, it really is, but to have multiple is fantastic. I mean, to have 2.2 million is just bloody amazing. So if in the future I have more subscribers, how wonderful. But if not, I'm ecstatic with the followers I have now. I mean, I could never have dreamed to have this many, and for that I'm ridiculously grateful. So one last thing about my channel is that as of today, I've released around 450 videos on my YouTube channel, my makeup YouTube channel. That's roughly 330 makeup tutorials, around 60 Omegle videos, and about 60 fun, fluffy videos like this one. And I'm going to continue to record videos for as long as I can because I absolutely love every fluffy minute of it. And I said around 450 videos on my makeup channel because I actually started my second channel on the 7th of March 2016, which is where I do my gaming videos, and that channel is Pinkstylist Plays, which currently has around 74,000 subscribers, which again is amazing, especially considering how terrible at gaming I am. It's pretty fantastic that 74,000 people want to see me die in a video game over and over and over again, or just scream at a goddamn animatronic bear. Yay Freddy. Now onto something relating to YouTube again, but not about my channel, because in the last 5 years I've had the absolute pleasure and the absolute honour of being able to meet in person some amazing YouTubers that I've followed and admired for the longest time. So I'll write some of their names on the screen now. Most of these people I actually met at like makeup events like IMATs, or just meeting up for a fun fabulous day of shopping. And they are honestly the best bunch of fluffy people I've ever met. They're all so wonderful and bubbly, and it just makes it so much more amazing that we all met thanks to the YouTube platform. It's fantastic. If you ever get a chance to meet any of these fabulous creators, please do. They're wonderful, and please check them out if you get a chance. They're all amazing. This list that I put on the screen now is really only including the people that I've actually physically met through YouTube. I have made many more YouTube friends over the last 5 years, which I'll mention later on in this video, but for now these are the people that I met physically in person, and that was just a wonderful experience. So aside from the awesome YouTubers that I met within the last 5 years, some of which are very, very, very close friends now, I do also want to take a second to thank some of my other amazing friends that I've met in the last 5 years. Some of these amazing people on the screen now I haven't met in person, but have made a massive impact on me nevertheless. So I just want to say thank you to my lovely friends just for making my life that little bit brighter. You're all my fluffy crew and I love ya. Other things that have happened to me in the last 5 years is that I've really stepped out of my comfort zone and forced myself to do things like makeup demonstrations at large events, which is a massive deal for me, especially considering like I have a big trouble with anxiety. So I thought I would like jump into the deep end and force myself to do these things in the hopes that it makes it a little bit easier for me to do it in the future, and it really, really has. I got to do things like do a makeup demonstration at the Paintopia Body Painting Festival hosted by the wonderful Jenny. I got to do Dutch Comic Con and Dutch Christmas Comic Con, and that was an amazing event. I got given my own little platform to do 4 different special effects makeup tutorials live, and it was wonderful. I even had the amazing privilege to be in one of my favourite magazines, and that's Illusion magazine, where I had an article written about me, which is mental. That's insane. There's something extra wonderful about something you've subscribed to for so long and read about these amazing artists to find that you're one day inside that magazine, and that was just surreal and wonderful. And that's special thanks to the lovely Claire and Julie who run Illusion magazine. And that was another wonderful life experience. I'm just very lucky. And from Illusion magazine, I was introduced to the owners of Superstar Face Paints, a product I've used for a very long time in my makeup tutorials. And that's Marco and Micah, who invited me down to their factory in Holland to actually see and film how their products are made, which is insane. It was insane. I've never been so excited in my life. I mean, you can see it for yourself. The video's actually on this channel if you wanted to see it. You can tell how excited I am when I was there. I felt like a kid in a candy store. Something else that happened was that I flew to New York, where I got to host my own meet and greet, where I got to meet some amazing people, some amazing fans all the way from America, and it was just one of those wonderful moments where every single person everyone had the same interest, everyone really wanted to learn more about special effects, and it was fantastic. Over the last few years I have been able to host quite a few meet and greets, and they're always wonderful. I even had the privilege of being able to hold like a contest for the screening of Annabelle 2 with Warner Brothers, and it was like my own private screening to give tickets out to fans, and that was a fantastic night. That's something I can never forget. That was absolutely wonderful. I've had an amazing past 5 years, and things just keep getting more and more exciting, and I'm incredibly lucky for all the opportunities that come my way, and I just can't wait for future events. So something else that's happened in the last 5 years that's just as wonderful involves my little family. Now, I already mentioned before that in my last video that in February 2010 my little tiny family grew that tiny much bigger with the birth of my wonderful niece Lily Rose, who's actually about to turn 8 this month. Can you believe that? She's so beautiful and so talented. I'm such a proud uncle. But then in 2015, in January, my little family grew a tiny bit bigger again with the birth of my nephew Alfie, who is now actually 3 years old, which is insane. And he's just as beautiful and just as wonderful as Lily Rose, and I couldn't be more proud of them or my sister. I now have a niece and a nephew. Isn't that wonderful? I'm an uncle times 2. Again, something I'm incredibly lucky to be. Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? Yay. But on the topic of wonderful things, another wonderful thing that happened to me this year is that me and Graham actually celebrated our 10th anniversary recently, and it honestly feels like it was just yesterday we started going out. I'm very lucky to have someone I love so much and who loves me that much in return. And without getting too mushy on you guys, I'm very fortunate enough to have found my soulmate, like someone who completes me in every way, and I know that's mushy, but it has to be said. Actually, something that sums up mine and Graham's kind of compatibility so perfectly is that when we first met, we both realised we had both like massive movie collections. Like we proper like love collecting DVDs and Blu-rays. Both our collections were insane. But when we moved in together, we of course combined our 2 collections, and the odd thing is that our collections literally completed each other with only a couple double-ups. So for example, where I might have say season 1 and 2 and 3 of Futurama, Graham would have seasons 4, 5 and 6. We literally completed each other. So I'm sorry if that made anyone out there gag, but there it is. So fluffies, that's it. That's my second Draw My Life video. Thank you all so much for watching it. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I waffled on too much. I do have a tendency to go off on a tangent, as you guys may well know, and it's difficult to squeeze so much information in such a short video, but here it is. But before I finish this video, I'll quickly pop on the screen now all the links I have to all my social media, like my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, and YouNow, as well as my website. Twitter's probably one of the better social medias to follow me on if you wanted to be up to date in everything that I do, because I do update it multiple times a day. Then again, it probably can get a little bit annoying for some people. Sorry. And yeah, so that's my video. It will be super interesting to see if I do a 3rd instalment of this series. I mean, you never know, maybe another 5 years, maybe sooner. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next video, yeah. Bye guys!